Okay. Hello, we are live. This is not a night that we usually go live, so we're changing it up a bit. So I'm excited to have Danielle from the Thought Card on here. She's one of my good friends, so it's exciting to be interviewing her on such a special, happy occasion in her life. So, Danielle, let's get started and let us know who you are.
Yes. Well, thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Tiff. We've known each other for a really long time. I think like since 2015, like 14 maybe. So I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation. My name's Danielle Corbett now, but you may previously know me as Danielle Desir, and I am the creator of the Thought Card, an affordable travel and personal finance blog and podcast. I am an author, blogger, podcaster, community leader, all the things. And this is my husband now. Want to say hi?
Hi, I'm Kyle Corbett. I'm just a personal trainer.
And he has his own. Come on, babe.
What?
Do more stuff.
A personal train, Twitch stream. That's really it. I don't have a laundry list of things that I do.
Okay, yes. Between the two of us, we have a laundry list. Yes, there we go.
That is a good thing when you have multiple things that you can talk about and what you do. So that's super exciting. So I think it was earlier this year, I started a series on dating abroad or dating during quarantine. And so, of course, I thought about Danielle and I thought about her story. So let's jump right into it. So tell me, how did you all meet and where did you all meet and how did it go from there?
You want to start us off?
You can tell it.
Because if I tell the story, it's going to be the bad parts.
The bad part. So we met on.
Oh, you see how he started? He's like, oh, don't tell the bad parts. Don't tell the bad parts.
An app called Bumble. Basically, it's like a typical app, right? It's you swipe left if you don't like them, you swipe right if you do. Personality and whatnot. The only difference with Bumble, between like Bumble and Tinder, Bumble and Tinder is that Tinder, anybody could talk first, whereas in Bumble, it's the female that has to make the first move. So
yeah. Okay,
yeah.
so wait, let's stop right there. Okay, so wait, were you all ever on Tinder before, or you guys started off on Bumble?
Yeah, I was on Tinder and Bumble.
I was on all of them. I was on Tinder. I was on Bumble. I was on not eHarmony, but there's some Plenty of Fish. Okay. I was on that as well. So yeah. I was just out there.
I was about to try eHarmony, and then I saw all the information I had to put.
eHarmony? And I was like, wow, that's for like older people. Yeah.
Right. They have another one. Have you guys heard of Coffee Meets Bagel? That's a new one.
I was on there too. Yeah, I was on there too.
Okay, so you guys are definitely open to dating apps, as we can see, correct?
Yeah. I mean, we are not married now, so
I also feel like
dating apps get such a bad rap. So I love to hear about stories like this because people like, oh, they're just on there to have sex. I haven't met any good guys. I used to be on dating apps like way back in the day. I've definitely had my share of. I had one guy. One guy who we didn't date really, but we did hung out. We hung out one time, and then one day I remember it clear as day on boating day, the wife called me, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" I was like, "I am so sorry. I did not know he had a wife." So they get bad raps because there are people in there doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing. But let's go back to your story because I'm glad to hear that your story has a very good ending. Okay, keep going.
That's ending. Story.
But here's the thing. Let me just make a case for why dating apps are important is because we actually lived 15 minutes away from each other for years. Like I moved to Connecticut in maybe like 6-7 years ago, and he lived 15 minutes away and we never met.
Yeah.
And I always say like, hey, like, babe, if you saw me at a club or something like that, or like at a bar, would you have said hi? Or would you have said, what would you say?
I probably wouldn't have seen you.
Probably wouldn't have seen me.
Seen you.
Probably wouldn't have said hello.
Hold on. I probably wouldn't have seen you because I don't go out. I didn't go out over here, so I probably would not.
But if he did, he said he would not come holler at me.
That's
okay.
A lie.
So
that's a lie.
Well, so it sounds like Bumble was a good idea because, and then you have this whole debate about should women approach men. So what do you guys think about that? Bumble is an app for that, but what do you guys think about just dating? I mean, just out in public. Are women supposed to approach men, or do men or the opposite? Which one do you guys think is better?
Smirk on your face, babe. Your smirk is so.
I have to tread very lightly on this subject.
Okay.
I'm outnumbered right now.
I'll take it for you. So I'm one of those women that it's like he's gonna have to come and approach me. I'll do a lot. I'll do with my strategies. Like I have this eye look that I give, like that, piercing look that I give that lets him know, like, you can come talk to me. But I'm old school in that sense. Like I like to be courted, and I want to feel like the man has an interest in me. I have reached out to guys, like very like on one hand, maybe I was a little bit too tipsy, and I just was going for it. But traditionally, I like when the man approaches me. The thing about apps like Bumble, I felt like there were quality men on that app versus like a Tinder, again, who were just looking for something more like casual. I'm not gonna say it's a blanket statement. Like I'm not gonna say all men on Bumble are like amazing. But I felt like when I was trying to have conversations with those guys, there was a genuine interest. And for me, like, again, since I don't usually approach guys first, I have to come up with something creative. So I didn't want to just be a, hey, what's up? I had to like do something
and let me tell you something. That was most women. Females. That's most females.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I used Bumble as an example. I'm not trying, because I do believe that men should have to, go first. You know what I mean? Like if I see you at a bar, if I see you sitting somewhere at a park or something like that, go up and like, start the conversation. You have to be kind of like suave and respectful and like, all these things. Charming. Yeah. I do believe that. So, but it's interesting to see that like most females, like if I swiped right on Bumble and then they swiped right, and like I literally am locked. My conversation's locked. I can't say absolutely anything until they start the conversation. And most of them would start the conversation with like, hi. And then like, and then like now it's back to me having to be like funny and charming
and all that.
Yeah.
But for me, I wanted to put some effort. Like if I'm going to, if I have to make the first move, I'm a little bit more conscious about it. So I would always look at it also made me not only swipe right, but then also think of something I wanted to say, right? It's not just a swipe right and then wait and see, because you also, I think, had 24 hours. So if you don't spark a conversation in 24 hours, it disappears. Mm-hmm. So I would also read the profile of the person, see if there's anything that we could like start a conversation with. And if it was a boring profile, I was like, he's cute, but there's no need to, there's like nothing there, right? So it just makes you kind of go the extra step to, start the conversation and see if there's a spark there. But I'm going to say this, that when his profile popped up on my screen, I remember I was in my room, I was in bed scrolling endlessly, and his picture showed up, and his picture was so bright. It's like, and like the light started to shine over his face, and his face was so bright. And I kept on swiping, and then there was a picture he had of his mom and his grandma with him. And I said to myself, oh my God, either he's a weirdo. He's like so weird. Who has their mom and their grandma in their profile? But it also, I admired that too, because I was like, okay, clearly he looks like a family guy. He values women, and he's not afraid to flaunt the women in his life. So I really love that about him. And then I shot him a message. I think you have a screenshot of it. I don't remember what it says. Do you remember?
Her message. So on my Bumble profile, I had a joke that said, it was a joke about height, because I'm tall. I'm like 6 feet, 6'1", if anybody asks. But it was a joke about height, and she commented with a joke saying, we could reach the high shelves and I could reach the low shelves, or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's cute.
then
Danielle. I
that's
see
where
you.
the conversation from.
But
Yeah.
no,
there.
wait, Danielle, going back to your other statement about him having a picture on there. Yeah, it may seem odd on a dating site to have your mom and your grandma, but like I said, as a family person myself, that would definitely be like, oh, okay, I would do a second glance because I think that's cool to have your, your family just to show how much part of a family or how important family is. So yeah, that definitely would have got my attention as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted that because like I am a family person. Like I don't really care. Like if you swipe left because you saw my family, it's just like then maybe you don't care so much
Yeah.
about
The
that.
values.
Yeah, the values. But like for me, it was like that picture was important to me because it was like 3 generations in one picture, and like I just enjoy the thought of that, and like I'm able to have my family around, and those 2 women like helped raise me to who I am, the person posting on Bumble. So I just wanted to like I always wanted to put a little snippet of there. Like I have the picture. I'm sure I had a picture of me like training,
Yeah.
a casual picture, and
Of
then
your
a picture
dog.
of my dog
Yeah.
and a picture of the family.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wait, so you guys do have a dog. So whose dog is that? Whose dog was it? The dog you guys have now?
That's my dog.
Oh, that's
But
your
she has
dog.
no loyalty. She's not loyal.
There's a whole story behind that. There's a whole story behind that.
Wait, so
So
I mentioned the dog to everybody that's watching is because they have a dog and they are pet parents, and so I wanted to know whose dog was it. But I guess they're gonna tell us that even though it's Danielle's dog.
all right. So as we all know, if you know the thought card, if you know Danielle, you know she travels. That was one of the first things I saw on Bumble. Was like, wow, she goes everywhere. She's been everywhere. So there's this one time where she was traveling to
Georgia.
Yeah, you went to Georgia to your dad, and she needed somebody to watch Jada, who's our dog. And I was like, I'll watch her, but I'll stay and I'll watch Jada. But like I even said this. I did say this.
You did say it.
I was like, I'm gonna warn you though. When you come back, she's gonna be mine and she's gonna be attached to me. I'm warning you, right? And she's like, oh, stop it, So a week goes by, right? And Jada, she comes home and Jada's like happy to see her. And then Jada comes, sits next to me at the table over here. And she gets ready for bed and she's going upstairs. And we had this wager on if Jada was going to stay with me or go with her to bed. And she went to bed. She went upstairs and Jada stood by my side. And
the whole night.
Ever since then, but no, she's now due to like quarantine and all that. Her
she's
and
grown.
Jada
she's grown fond of me now after 4 years. Okay, so
that's a long time, but she's finally getting it together. There are some good things that come out of quarantine.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay, so back to your story. So basically, she sent the message about the shelves, and then what happened from there?
So after that, it was like flirting back and forth, of course. Mm-hmm. I asked for your number. You said yes. And then we set up a date from there. And then the date consisted of...
Wait. You see, this is the part that he wanted to skip. What? He wanted to skip so many things. Okay.
Oh, no. She's making this up. She thinks that I didn't want to go out with her. Like I was going to cancel or something like that. Realistically, we just didn't text a lot in that time period. But when she said, are we still on? I was like, yeah, we're still on. Now, in the future, she asked me, did you want to go on that date? I was like, honestly, I was tired that day and I wasn't feeling it, but I didn't want to like skip out on the date.
He didn't want to go. He didn't want to go on the first date with me.
Only because I was tired. I had a lot going on. But I still went.
I have a question right there because I'm in a lot of Facebook groups and women they post their screenshots of their conversations from Tinder or Bumble. And I feel like there's always a lot of miscommunication, especially in the very beginning stages because we don't know each other. So you got one person saying, no, I was kind of tired. The other person, Danielle's like, no, he didn't want to go on the date. So I feel like there's a whole lot of communication issues like up front. So how do we avoid those conversations that end up like that? Or is it unavoidable because we are still getting to know each other during that particular initial phase?
So I'm going to take this one. So then you could jump in. But So for me, it was that we had planned for Saturday. I think it was Saturday or Sunday, we were going to go out. And like the day before, it was like Friday. I think we're going to go out Sunday, and Saturday, I hadn't heard from him all day. So if I didn't hear from you all day, I'm not going to assume that you're going to come pick me up and we're going to have a date. So a part of me was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I would say if you're not sure about something, just speak up and ask. Just ask the question. Like, I just asked, I was like, hey, are we still on for Sunday? No expectations, no like, you didn't hit me up all day. What's going on? Yeah. It was just a simple question to see what his response was.
And I said,
okay. Yeah, I think that's a good response in terms of just communicate and literally just ask those questions, because I think a lot of times in relationships we assume a whole lot of things, and so I feel like that's the perfect way. Just ask, are we going on the date, yes or no, and move on. Whether it's yes, I'm getting ready, or no, we'll have to reschedule. So I think that's a good way to answer the question. Okay, I like that, Danielle.
Yeah. So he said yes. I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna go on our date. And then he asks me to pretty much give me my address so that he could come pick me up. I was like, whoa. Like, I don't know who you are. How are you going to ask me my address? So I thought that was a red flag. But I guess that's like old school chivalry. Like,
well, I just wanted to pick you up. I had no thought of, like, I'm being honest. I had no thought of chivalry or anything. I thought I would just pick you up and we just go. Because, like, before that, I would pick somebody up. Like, I would just drive.
But that's a little sketchy. You never met the person. You got to drive to my crib, know where I live. Like,
right. So I guess, yes, in today's time, where are we, 2020, okay? I guess I can see both ways, because I can see that it is nice for the guy to pick you up. You don't have to take an Uber. You don't have to drive. And on the other hand, I can see where you're like, okay, safety issues. If it doesn't work out, then I don't want him to know where I live at. So I definitely understand both sides of the point, but I guess just to be careful in today's time, it would be nice to meet at a location just in case. But it sounds like, did you end up giving him the address, or you guys met at a location?
I gave him the address.
After all that, she gave me the address.
I did.
Gave me the address.
But so funny, that day, my mom was here. So while he's coming up and driving, my mom and her boo was looking out the window, like,
literally as I pulled in, she was about to pull out.
Yeah, so it was good to have them there, but also embarrassing too. I'm like, Mom, it's my first date. Like, get away. Everyone was just so nosy and like excited about like just me dating again. So that was that. But the first date went really well. We went to our favorite brewery. I introduced him to that brewery. We went to the movies. We saw actually Black Panther that day. And yeah, that was like, the first date. It went really well. And then we planned to meet again.
So how was Black Panther? Did you guys feel the Black love in the movie? Did that make you guys feel any type of way, or?
I think I felt, to be honest with you, the culture was amazing in the movie. Like the colors, just everything in the movie was great. But I felt the Black love more in the audience than I did the movies. Like, you had kids going over there dressing up. You had like kids being excited that, like, I feel like maybe they could relate to a superhero. So yeah, I think just like all around, like I feel like the culture was there. Like you could feel the culture in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I love seeing that movie just around the world. And it's actually funny because, oh my God, what's his name? I can't think of his name, but he obviously passed a couple months ago, and his birthday, I think, was yesterday. So shout out to Heavenly Birthday and all that. He was a great, great actress, and it was a great, great movie. So I'm glad that you guys felt that in the midst of your first date. So I think that was the first good date movie and all that kind of stuff. So that was super, super cool. Okay, so let's go on. Let me ask this question, because I asked this question during the interview. When did you know you were in love? Because you said the first date went well. You guys are now, I'm assuming, texting all the time, chatting. Because Black Panther came out last year. What it was like February, maybe? Was it February of last year?
No, like 2 years ago. Yeah,
was 2.5 years. Has it been 2 years already?
A little over, like I think two and a half.
2.5 years. Yeah.
So 2018 is when it came out.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you guys fall in love or say I love you, or when did that come about?
So there was 1 week where I was sick with the flu and I couldn't see her for like that entire week, right? It was like a week.
Yeah.
Right. And like I don't usually get sick, but like when I get sick, it's usually a bit rough. So I was like out of commission, but we were still texting and calling and messaging and whatnot. And the first thing I did as soon as I felt better was come over here. And I feel like that week it clicked in to me because in my head it's like the only thing that I really care about is getting back to that person. And then like so you say it was that day, but I don't know if it was that day.
It was that day. It was that day. I remember all the details. Yes, it was that day.
Where she had a look on her face and then she was like smiling. And then what I remember is like, you want to say something. And then I was like, just teasing, like, no, I don't. And then she's like, go ahead, say it. And I was like, no, you say it. And then she's like, no, say it.
What am I gonna say?
And then I find, and that's when I said I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually said I'm in love with you.
Mm.
And that's when she responded with I love you too.
No.
Oh. Well, like wipe the tears.
I know.
And so
Danielle,
Danielle, was it that day, or did you feel it before that day, or?
I think it was before that day because I remember calling my best friend and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know where this is going. Like, is this going to be like serious? Because I want it to be serious, but I'm not really sure. Like, I was just stressing out. So I called my mom and mom's like, girl, you tripping. Stop it. She's like, stop it. It's been like 3 weeks. Stop. And then my best friend was like, okay, you're definitely tripping, but just ask, like, just be on, like, just not tell him you want to be in a relationship, but tell him that what is his thoughts on it, so you can kind of understand where this is going. So I was like, I casually asked. I think I texted you it. I was like, hey, like, what are your thoughts on a relationship? And he said, not verbatim, but he said something to the extent like, I'm not really looking for anything serious right now, or we'll see where this goes. When I hear we'll see where this goes, this is like, okay,
I don't think I said we'll see where this goes.
I don't know. It was just something that didn't make me feel confident that this, like, he wanted a relationship.
To be fair, though,
it was so soon.
This is very soon.
It was like week 2.
This is very, very soon. This is very, very soon.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't scare me.
We were walking out of the field.
We were walking out of the movie, but it was pretty soon. So, but I was really thankful for that because I felt like my emotions were going on 100, and I just needed to just have a reality check to see like where this is going, and for me to stop being like so like obsessive or just trying to figure out what the future is. So when he responded that way, it gave me the pause to be like, okay, now I'm back in control because I know where this is going and I'm not going to take it serious. That's what I told myself. I said, I'm not going to take it serious. And then he got sick for that week. And then, we were continuing to talk. And then he came, that after that week, he came over and then we said we love each other. So, yeah.
But wait, I have a comment too. So I think sometimes, I don't know if it comes with age or other previous relationships. I think a lot of times, sometimes we do rush things, right? Because of our past feelings. Maybe we're anxious. Maybe there's just a bunch of things going on. But sometimes I think we definitely should take it slow. You know what I'm saying? And just let things flow, instead of either rushing things or thinking that they don't want something, or, sometimes it takes guys a little bit longer to figure things out. And it could be the same for women as well. So I just think that, and sometimes we should just, let things flow naturally, and then we'll end up here where we are now. So I'm glad that it all worked out in that sense of everything. So let's talk about the engagement. So we know that Danielle travels a lot. And so let's talk about what was supposed to happen in terms of traveling this year before COVID hit.
Oh man.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah, this is your.
So in May, we were supposed to go to Spain, Madrid. And I had this whole proposal planned out of us being in Madrid and us being like at a nice like I don't know. In my head, it's like we're at a bridge or something like that. A nice like background, sun's going down, and like I have the ring in my back pocket. We're dressed nicely. We just got done eating, and I was going to propose.
So pause right there, because Kyle's never been in Europe before. So this was a really big trip for us, like his first Euro trip. And I knew the engagement was coming, and I knew it was going to happen in Madrid, which is why it was like super painful when, the whole COVID thing happened. But that trip was supposed to be really special because it was his first Europe trip. And I've been to.
Wait, Danielle, so how did you know that it was going to happen?
Well, we talked about it. The first time we really talked about it is that we made it a date to go to the ring shop so that he could get ideas for like what kind of rings I like. So once that happened, I was like, don't get excited, but it's happening.
Okay.
So, and I think you had already told, like, I think it was known. I don't know if you told me explicitly that I was going to be in Madrid, but I think we were waiting for that like special trip.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably tease it. Like, knowing me, I'm so impatient. I was like, I'm proposing Madrid, just to let you know. So get ready. Or I don't know. I probably hinted it a little too much.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of like an obvious thing, like Madrid's very romantic. Well, I would think Madrid's very romantic.
It seems romantic. Right?
It seems romantic. Yes.
Yes.
And for everybody, like I'm not a traveler. I haven't been to that many places. I've only become a traveler due to
this one
over here. And once things open up, we'll be right back at it.
Wait, let me ask another question really quickly right there, because I have seen memes where I know you've probably seen it, where they're like, if they don't have their passport or they don't want to travel, we can't be together. But Kyle just said, because of you, I now am traveling more and enjoy traveling. So what are your thoughts really quickly on that? Should you date a guy that initially says they don't want to travel or not interested, or do you just allow them, again, for things to just fall in place to where they will enjoy the same things that you do eventually?
I think it's a balance, because if you're an avid traveler and this person's like, I only want to travel within my county or within my state, and that person is really rigid, then you guys are gonna clash, and your love of travel is going to pull you away from having experiences together. So I think it's something that it's important to think about. At least for me, because travel is just as important as like big family values. Like, do you want to have kids? Like, that's kind of like travel's like up there. It's like really, really serious, right? So in the beginning, when we first started dating, like I knew he had traveled maybe to like a handful of places. But I like to do like the whole, dip my toe in and like ambush them a little bit. So I had gotten a really good deal to go to Orlando, Florida for like a weekend. Yeah. And I asked him, I was like, hey, do you want to go to Orlando, Florida? Like our hotel is covered, because this
was also very soon. This is also very, very soon.
Yeah, because you were worried about that. You're like, she's asking me to go travel so soon. Is this normal? Yeah. But I think that first experience brought us closer, because again, like we're still new in our relationship. We don't really know each other yet, but we're in a different environment where it's just the two of us and we have to kind of like figure things out. So I think that trip brought like us a lot closer and more excited to do more trips together too.
I agree though. I think that it's important. Like if you're a travel, like she's a huge, like traveling is like just in her blood. Like she just needs to do it, And like for me, we have bickered, like we have argued about like traveling, and like I was like actually like, listen, like I don't know if we're gonna be able to travel this much when we have a family and whatnot. And then like I remember we were arguing about that, and it like really hurt her. And then like at some point I was like, like why would I take something that's like so her away from her? You know what I mean? Like why would I try to restrict her from, like, that doesn't make any sense. Like that's like taking a part of her. And like I love like all of Danny. You know what I mean? I love all the whole thing, the traveling included. So I was like, that's ridiculous. Like instead of me being like, oh, we have to hamper down on traveling, I should be more like, oh, we should travel. I should travel with you, and we should do more stuff together. Instead of like thinking that she should like give up something that she loves, I should embrace what she loves and love it too. And so like I think that's like very important. So if you like love traveling as much as like she said, traveling to her is as serious as like having a kid, right? It's like it's that serious. And it's like if you're trying to take that away from the person you're with, then I don't know if you should be with that person. Because like you're not like accepting them completely. You know what I mean? And I think that's like really important. So like,
Cal, I really like that, and I really like what you just said, and, and the fact that you took a step back and you thought about it. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. That before I became, or before we got together, this is what she loves to do anyway. So how can we bring that into this relationship where either I enjoyed it as much, or I'm still, or there, but there's so many ways that you can do travel. Because you guys travel a lot in the States, or since COVID has happened. So even if you say, okay, maybe we can't go to Dubai this year with the whole family, maybe we can go down to California this year or something like that. But I love the compromise, because that is what a relationship is. It's taking the whole person, not just part of the person. And then in order for the relationship to work, if travel is her thing and that makes her flourish, life will be much better if she's flourishing versus if you're hindering her as well. So I think that's a good good way to think about stuff, and good way if that's how you continue the relationship. And for Danielle as well, if there's something that you don't like, but you take a step back and be like, hey, well, this is something that he really enjoys, let's see how we can work this out together. So I think that's a a good way to start the relationship and to think about things, and just for other people get into relationships to think about
We have
those
a visitor.
This is Jada that they were talking about earlier.
That's Jada. Hello.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna take a very small break. She's crying, so I think she has to go out.
Yes, I'll take it from here.
I'm so sorry.
So I think that was a really for those who maybe, because I was also with, before Kyle, I was with a partner who had a lot of hesitation to traveling, and it was always like a sour subject, a back and forth. And I thought I was seeing the similar effect, because like Kyle said, like we were like having serious conversations about traveling at the time, and he was okay with it, but he was also a little bit anti, and something about it wasn't 100%. Right. But I love that he came to his own realization. I didn't have to force it. It was something that was organic and natural, and I know that it might not always be that way, but again, if it's something that's important to you, then continuously talk about it. Invite that person to see if they would be interested in traveling with you. Different types of trips, different types of destinations, get them involved, get them excited. So I really think early on doing that little small Orlando trip was really helpful, because it showed him like what it was like to be on the road and having that excitement. And yeah, so I think that was helpful.
No, yeah, I think that was what we'll call that dropping a gem. We'll snap our fingers if we were doing poetry. I really, really enjoyed that. Okay, so let's go back to this engagement. I did a sidebar. Sorry about that. And then, so, okay, we're planning this trip to Madrid and we can't go. So what do we do next?
Yeah. All right, so we're planning the trip to Madrid. We can't go. So there was a day where I was working out in the basement, and like there's something I truly believe is like sometimes like the quarantine that we're in could either like make you or break you kind of deal, because like we're together 24/7 now. You don't go off to work, and I go to work still. I still have to work, but like I'm coming right back home. So we're together like 24/7. And I remember I was like, I had the ring already. I already had the ring. It was safely secured at my mother's house. And I remember thinking, no, I went to pick it up that day from my mother's house. And then I remember thinking, I think I'm going to propose tonight. Like I was literally just in the middle of like, working out downstairs in the basement. I was just like, I think I'm going to propose tonight. And because the reason why I was thinking that was because I don't know what I was listening to like a song, and all I kept thinking was like, we're stuck in quarantine, and like we're in this situation where it's really rough. Like it's rough. Everything's unknown, But the one thing that isn't unknown to me is like I wouldn't rather be stuck in quarantine with anybody else. No one else in the world I'd rather be stuck in quarantine with. And I went to go get the ring. But before that, I called my mother. I was like, yeah, by the way, I'm popping the question now. I texted my cousin. Well, he's like a little brother to me. I texted Mikey and was like, yeah, I'm gonna pop the question. And like he immediately was like, oh, FaceTime, I need to see this. I was like, no. Enough pressure as it is. And then I remember I was going to do it, and then like I just kind of like had like I'm a very anxious person sometimes, so I felt like I was having a panic attack because I was getting so nervous. And I was like, all right, babe, I'll be right back. I have to go to the car to get something. I don't know what I said.
Yeah, something out there.
And I was in the car for a while. Now I went to the car.
Like an hour. It was like over an hour. I was like, what?
I don't think it was over.
It was like an hour. Like 45 minutes.
That's a while.
It's strange. It was strange.
Well, I was in there for a while. I don't know how long, to be honest. It could have been like 40, 45 minutes. But I called her mom. And like, first of all, I wanted to get her blessing. And then I told her I was going to do it. I'm doing it now. Like, I'm literally about to walk in and do it. And she, like, I was like, I'm so nervous. Like, I'm like really nervous.
You
like,
look nervous right now.
Like, I was like shaking. I was like shaking. I was so nervous. And like, I don't really get like,
not that nervous.
I don't really get that nervous. Like, there's very rare situations where I get super nervous. But this was like one of them. Like, but the thing is, like, I knew she was gonna say yes, but like, there's still like that voice in the back of your head. It's like she's gonna say no, and like you just.
So, well, the good thing, Carlos, you would have said no. There's nobody around. If this would have happened in
not Madrid, right?
Yeah. The bad thing is that if she said no,
we would have been stuck living together.
Stuck in quarantine still, so I guess I'll hit this room and you go there.
Oh, that's awful.
But her mom did such a great job at like, I'm trying to remember exactly what she said, but she said something that like calmed me down, and she's like, don't worry,
she's good at that.
I know for a fact that she's gonna say yes. Just take a big breath. And she's like helping me breathe. I felt like I had like a little bag. So like she was helping me breathe and like calmed me down. And then I went inside, and like this is funny. As soon as I go inside, Danielle immediately grills me. She's like, why were you outside? What's going on? What's happening? Huh? And I was like,
because mind you, this was in March. So I was like, if you're gonna go out there and get the virus, don't come back inside for 40 minutes and come give it to me, okay? What's going on, So it's like, it was so strange for him to be outside for so long. Like, why would he take a phone call outside? That's weird. You know what I mean? Like that was just, and we've been living together for like over a year at this point. So it's like the strangest thing for him to do that. So yeah.
Yeah. So then like that's when I whipped out the ring. I got on one knee. I said something very nice and romantic that rarely happens. And then I popped the question. And she was in sweats. She was in pajamas. Her hair was all over the place.
We're not done. Okay.
Yeah.
God, I had to literally go put on put some acetone on them before I took a picture and sent it to my friends and my family. It was horrible. Oh my gosh.
And then so she said yes, and then we like told our family, we hugged for a long time. We like watched. We
listened to music.
And just in our own world.
Yeah, but to be honest, I feel like it is the type of proposal was so our pace. Like it was literally like the kind of relationship we have is like super like stay home bodies, chill out. So although in Madrid in front of everybody would have been cool and would have been like photo worthy, but it's like I would have been like maybe blushing, embarrassed, like trying to like rush out of there, like that awkward moment. I feel like there was no awkward moment. It was just like comfortable in home. The only awkward moment was just taking a photo with my nails busted, but that was okay.
And that was because you were expecting it to happen in Madrid, so you weren't expecting it to happen at home. So I feel like it was still a nice, sweet surprise that it was at home, just between the two of you all. No, you said no videos, no FaceTime, no anything. So I think that's a special private moment that you'll always be able to share with one another, and that makes it even more sweeter.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now there was another not a backup plan, but there was another one I was gonna do, and it was gonna be during quarantine. And
I didn't know this. This is news.
This is exclusive.
Exclusive tea.
Now, I was originally like before I like popped the question like in quarantine and whatnot is Madrid, right? But then I started thinking like, all right, I have to be a little creative now because now we're in quarantine. So what I was going to do is like on occasion when she does an Instagram live or a Facebook live, I occasionally pop in there and make her blush real quick and then listen and then pop out. I was gonna pop in there on her like when she usually says, "Does anybody have any questions?" And I was gonna pop in there and ask her, "I do have one question. Come downstairs."
Oh my God! Oh,
that's when I come downstairs. And then that's when I would have popped the question.
Oh, that would have been nice too.
Yes.
Like the whole living room transformed.
Yes, that
like
was the plan. Like
flower oasis
and turn on the Beats pill and play some music. Play some
that would have been nice. That would have been nice.
Yeah, but I'm impatient.
But he's so, I'm gonna say he got no patience for that.
I'm very impatient.
He has a process and just go for it. So that's
Yeah.
That would have been nice, but say that there will be many more anniversaries and all that kind of stuff. So you could
definitely do that in the future. Yeah.
You'll never know.
I know.
You'll never know. I'm very unpredictable.
Oh gosh.
You answered my question. Well, you kind of answered it earlier, but you were saying that was going to be one of my questions. Like, how have you guys been handling each other since you guys have had to spend so much time together? I think, like you said, there was like a report in China that said that the divorce rate went up during quarantine because people are not used to spending time with each other. Whether it's like we get up 5, let's say we go to work at 8 o'clock, you're gone to work till 5, 4 o'clock. So you really only have a couple hours to spend with your family or your spouse before it's time to go back to work again. So we're really not spending much time together anyway. So how did you guys go through that? Did you guys have a lot of highs? Did you guys have a lot of lows? Or do you feel like it worked better for y'all to be in quarantine together?
Yeah, I feel like we had a lot of highs. I think there was never a time where I'm like, oh, I can't stand this guy. Like there was never any of that. I feel like, because for me, like my commute to work is typically like close to 2 hours one way. And we have pretty much off work cycles. So when I'm at work, he's home. When he's at work, I'm home. So I think the quarantine just allowed us to actually just be in the same space, right? Even if we're doing our own thing, which we do a lot of times, but we can still see each other, like poke a joke or, touch each other or something like that.
Each other.
So I think it definitely did bring us closer. Of course, with spending more time together, there will be things that get on your nerves. There will be things about, that like irk you. So you're going to have some tidbits and maybe some little quarrels. But I think overall, we just found like unique ways to make it fun. Like we actually got games and puzzles which we actually never play, but we got like games so we could play together, and we tried to like reserve some time to like actually watch a show together or do something fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys believe in the love languages?
I don't think I've read the books, but I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows about that. What is it?
He's like, what is that? Basically, you take like a quiz to see what your love language is. So maybe that's an idea for you guys to do. Yeah, that would be fun. Basically, you take a quiz and you find that there's only 5 love languages. So I was gonna ask the question, what do you think your love languages are? But it's quality time. I think it's words of affirmation. It's physical touch. Acts of service. Yeah. And what's the last one? It's one more. I can't remember the last one.
Gifts.
Maybe something like that. So maybe you guys will do that, and then you guys will come back and tell me later what your love language was.
Yeah. I'm down to that.
That'd be fun.
I love taking like
Yeah, no, it's super cute. And if you guys had kids, they have a kids version where you can do the same love language with your kids. And there's also an app that I don't know if it's the same, but sort of kind of. So basically, it's like the app has like a tank. So if your tank is at 50%, then your partner can see it, and then they can go with that love language to bring that tank up. Wow. So I think it's cute. So you guys should check out that app as well. Okay, so let's move on to the actual wedding. So you guys had to plan a wedding during quarantine, which is crazy because I don't know how big your families are, and I don't know if you wanted to invite the whole world or where you wanted the wedding to be. But yeah, tell us about the wedding process. How long did it take, and how was it just planning and yeah, the actual wedding. So yeah, let us know.
Oh man. So yeah, about our families, both of them, huge, big family. We both have very big families. And like you remember, I said that I was impatient, so naturally, I was like, let's just get married, like
No.
as soon as
The
possible.
original plan was to get married in 2021 to give us a full year to plan, like typical people, right? Like everyone else plans it in a year. Most people.
Mhm.
No. So we started off with a year, and I think because we got engaged like in March, and then by like mid-July, he woke up one day. He's like, "Babe, let's get married like tomorrow." I was like, "What? No, wait." But I was like, you know what? Like, what's the point of not getting married now, right? So originally, our plan was to do a courthouse wedding. You had a thought of just like jeans and sneakers, like super cash. But we made the mistake and had the pleasure. I think it's two sides of the same coin. We had a family meeting once we decided we wanted to have a wedding. And I invited his mom, my mom, and my dad. And we had a family meeting about what we wanted the wedding to look like. So it was during that conversation that I realized that perhaps jeans and sneakers at the courthouse maybe wasn't the kind of wedding we wanted to go for.
Let me tell you something. The wedding itself evolved.
Woo!
It evolved because like
did.
it was 100% jeans and sneakers.
Well, I'm not
signed
really jeans
documents,
and sneakers. I'm kind of like a
and then-
boots and jeans, you
and
know,
then,
like just casual, you know.
and then go out and eat. That was like the original.
That was original,
That
yeah.
was the OG plan.
Yeah.
And so yeah, after like during that's what I was hit with a curveball during the meeting.
Yeah,
that, like
it was
it's like
unexpected.
okay, now we want a little like nothing extravagant, but like dress up a little bit, you know.
We wanted an event.
A little mini
Yeah.
tiny event, you know, which still ended with like dinner and just it's almost like
Elevated.
business casual.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
elevated,
Yeah,
yeah.
like we're not wearing jeans anymore. Now we're looking for slacks and like
A dress.
a dress, you know. And it started off not a wedding dress. It started off not a wedding dress.
Like a cocktail dress.
Yes.
So here's my advice to people who are getting engaged and they're thinking about their wedding. Before you involve your family, just make sure that you and your partner know exactly the kind of experience you want to have first. Because for me, I was so excited to like bring everyone in, but with bringing everyone in, they had all their ideas and all their expectations. And we kind of felt in like kind of cornered. And because we did not have our own plan, so we were more liable to kind of go with it. So inevitably, like Kyle's original idea of just something super casual kind of got tossed to the wayside, and he kind of felt like he wasn't seen. He kind of felt like, you know, ran over, like forget what she said. You know, I didn't, you know, anyway. But so I would say it's really important to be clear. Like have a discussion, talk about what kind of vision you have for your wedding, the kind of budget that you have for your wedding before you involve your family. And at the family point, like get them on board. Like this is what we're doing. And this is what we're doing. That's
Danielle, I was gonna say you guys were really nice because there's no way I would have been like, this is what we're doing. This is your task. This is your task. This is your task. Because I think honestly, when you try to bring people in there, your mom has an idea of what they want. Grandma has an idea. They have colors. They have the idea of your dress. You see that all the time. I used to watch. I don't know if you guys used to watch 4 Weddings. I used to love it. It was on TLC. Or they had where the woman was getting ready for her bridal dress, and she would be in tears because nobody liked what she liked. And so sometimes the bridal, the shop had to step in and be like, no, this is what the bride wants. So I think you guys were really good to even involve the family in the beginning. I guess I'm more the other way, like figure out what you want and tell people, like you said, this is what it is. So you guys went from the courthouse wedding to a small event. I know you had it. You decided to decorate the backyard, right?
Yeah, so my mother-in-law was so gracious enough to allow us to have the backyard wedding there at her backyard. And I mean, this was we literally planned this event in 6 weeks. 4 weeks to be honest.
Yeah.
That first 2 weeks we just kind of
we were in
waffled
love.
around.
We were like, oh my God, we're getting married soon.
I know. We're like,
and then it was like we're a month out. We're like, yo, we didn't get
We
anything
need to
done.
get-
We gotta start getting move on.
And it was super tricky because like summertime, we weren't in quarantine, but things were not 100% capacity yet. So my original idea was to have it at a winery, which I loved, but it was just getting complicated and more expensive and expensive. So we just kind of said, okay, let's just do backyard wedding. And we kept it really simple. Like I actually created a board on Pinterest and looked for things that inspired me. I was really inspired by the backyard farm, rustic style wedding. So I looked for things that fit that theme. And I shared it with my mother-in-law and my mom. And we had pretty much a shopping list, like what we wanted to go out and get. So having a plan and vision is really important. We went out, we pretty much were able to replicate a lot of the things that I saw on Pinterest. We went to Christmas tree shop primarily, or like a Target, like, those knick-knack stores. And she just literally transformed her backyard into this beautiful, I feel like I couldn't have paid someone to make it more cozy and intimate. And that was part one. I mean, we have like a really large family. So cutting that list down to 40 people, 2020 on both sides was so hard. I had people who were disappointed, people who were angry that they heard about it so last minute. We had like people who we wanted to invite, but we just, again, weren't sure. And again, we had to also honor the people that were coming to make sure that they're safe also.
Yeah.
So it's like damage control on all sides. And then we had to like pray to God. I mean, we prayed so many times together as a family. We were like, we just pray, like, please bless over this ceremony, that everyone feels safe and no one gets sick. And I mean, I'm so happy that we didn't get any calls. No one got sick. There was not a event.
Right. Well, prayer works.
Prayer worked. And we had a wedding. I mean, I had a limo. We went to the church. We had a beautiful ceremony at the church. We went to the backyard wedding. We had like a 5-hour reception. So people ask me all the time, well, are you going to have another wedding? I'm like, why? We had everything. We had a videographer. We had a photographer.
Yeah.
We had everything that a big wedding would require. Yeah.
It was originally in the plan to have like a second one.
We did, yeah.
But then like as we were approaching the finish line on our wedding, we were like, there's like, this is it. We don't need another one after this because like this is perfect.
Yeah.
The only thing we were literally missing were the X amount of people that we couldn't invite, and they would have been invited if it wasn't for obviously the situation. But like I can't think of anything that like there was. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I would definitely advise people to give yourselves more time, but I don't think you need years of preparation. I don't think you need years of preparation to do it. I would say give yourself a significant amount of time to feel comfortable and whatnot, that you could get everything done.
Yeah.
And like for us, we had like things going against us, like not only COVID, but the weather. It was like, people don't know. It was supposed to downpour on the wedding. Like it was supposed to like
torrential downpour.
Yeah, it was supposed to be raining a lot on our wedding. We have a backyard wedding.
We prayed on it.
Yeah.
We got three specks of rain.
We went scattering for tents. We got tents. I mean, to be fair though, a little sidebar, the tents made it look really nice. Yeah, it was like a nice touch to it.
Yeah, but here's the thing about having a quick wedding is that what you don't have, and you have to keep moving. Like you don't have time to just think about it and search. It's like if we don't have this vendor, moving on to the next thing. We don't have empanadas, and we don't have empanadas. Moving on. So for that,
I think people always get very weird about weddings, but I think people have to understand we were literally in COVID, quarantine, however you want to call it. So people just have to understand. Now, if you had a reception later and you invited people, then that's your choice. And if you don't, then that's also your choice, and we're still actually in the same situation we were when you guys had the wedding. So it's like you can't even plan or think about anything right now. And I think the most important part is that you guys did what you wanted to do, which was get married. And at the end of the day, technically, you only need 2 people plus the witness or the judge or whoever this is that, says you're married. And that's it. And so I think that's the part that people have to understand. Like, you literally can't get angry. I would have loved, and let's put this in, me and Danielle, although we've known each other for years, we have never met before. So I would have loved to be like, let me go to Danielle's wedding. Like, you know what I'm saying? It would have been great. But of course, I can't be like, oh, I didn't get an invite. It's freaking COVID. Like, people have to understand, and they will get over it. And all that matters is that you guys are married. So I'm definitely happy to hear that it worked, and I'm pretty sure it was on a budget because I know Danielle is very budget conscious as well. But like
it really was.
But it was beautiful. I realized, like, it's really the things as a bride that I remember are not the things I spent money on. It's like the moments, the looks, the laughs, the touch, like the experience that you have. So it's like, I know it's hard to be on the other side and give people advice this way, but truly, you're not going to remember most of it. Yeah. So don't even stress.
Always remember the important part is the unification, the marriage. Yeah. Like you're with your loved one. That's the important part. Like you're getting married to the person you love. The party is just extra credit. That's just like a bonus. That's just like a cherry on top. The reality of it all, the foundation is that you're with the one you love.
Yeah.
And you're going to be with them forever, and like that's the foundation.
Did you guys write your own vows?
Okay. Yeah. So I use Etsy for this, but we got like little vow books that we could actually, write in. So at the actual church, we had like the church vows. Mm-hmm. That they are pre-made for you, but we opted for a first look. So one of the things that I really appreciated in our wedding is that we had a photographer. Again, so you could replay all those memories over and over again, right? So they gave us an option to do a first look, which is like before you guys actually see each other at the church, you get to see each other beforehand in a very intimate setting, and they take photos of you too. So we said, why don't we do that? And also say our vows together. So the photographer captured all of that. We shared our vows, and it was such a intimate and sweet moment. So I do recommend doing that. Yeah, first look and also doing your vows too.
Okay, that's a new one. I haven't heard people. I know people do the first look sort of, or they do the touch but not the look. So that was cool that you guys did the first vows with you only and then did it in front of everybody. So I think that's a good idea too.
Yeah.
So yeah, this sounds like super, super awesome. I'm so happy for you all. So tell me, what are your next steps in terms of your marriage or in terms of traveling?
Oh. Next step in terms of marriage. Well, I feel like the marriage is there.
We're done.
I don't know any other steps. Of course, there's making a family and all that.
Having a family. Starting a family.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm married now. So
I think it's a little bit different for us because we already established a lot of things beforehand. So I already purchased a home years before, so we don't have to go find a home, right? One of the things that we did actually when we first got married is we actually opened up a joint bank account together. So now we have our finances now more in line with each other. So that's good. But besides,
that's an important one too.
Yeah,
Danielle, because talking about homes and finances, you guys got one check off, and then finances is a big deal too because you have some people do joint accounts, you have some people do separate accounts. You got some people, women say, "Yeah, I got a joint account, but I got a separate account that my husband don't know about over here." So you got a lot of different things going with finances. So finances is definitely one of those questions that you guys have to discuss, because if you're budget savvy and he's not, or vice versa, these are things that you will have to work out, preferably before marriage. Did you guys do marriage counseling?
We were thrown into it actually through our church. Yeah, through our church.
Okay.
We actually didn't think about it, but it just so happened to be, and I actually recommend it. I thought it was
a good time.
It was a good time.
I guess it all depends on who you're with, who's doing it. But the person we were with, he was wonderful. He was a little I don't think he liked me that much.
He didn't like you that much in the beginning, but I think he warmed up to you.
He warmed up to me.
Yes.
It took me a little bit of time, but I did it.
So we got married in a Catholic church, and as you get prepared for the sacrament, they take you through, like, I think we had like 6 counseling sessions.
Like 5 or 6 or something.
5 or 6.
Okay.
So, and after each one, we're like, whoa, we learned something new. Or we're like, what are we going to do about this? Or what's this issue? Or something like that. So I would recommend it. Probably not as short of a time. We were kind of stressed out. Like, we got to go to these counseling sessions.
We were doing it every single day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think it's always great to have a third perspective, because sometimes just listening to each other, like if I say something, you'll be like, oh, Tiffany, that was a good idea. But if Danielle said it, you're like, I don't know about that, you know? So I feel like it's always good to have somebody else to kind of point out those things that maybe you don't think about. So I'm glad that they offered it in the midst of actually marrying you guys as well. Okay, so we got the finances, we got the house. You say you guys want kids, not, I don't know how soon, but yeah, the kids are gonna come sooner or later. And I know a lot of people, what do you guys, how do you guys feel about that? Because when people automatically assume that once you get married, you're going to have kids. So if that wasn't your choice, how do you handle that question in terms of people? I think people rush things very quickly. Once you have your first baby, then they're going to ask you, when is the second baby? And then when is the third baby? Yeah. Like, you know, I feel like there's always these rush questions. You're like, whoa, let me just enjoy the wedding part or the marriage part or whatever the case before we start, you know, a family. So how do you handle those questions if you guys weren't doing that, I guess, even though you guys are?
We're going through those questions right now.
We were going through it before we were
going through it.
Or where we were. Jay's trying to make an appearance again. We're going, I mean, I think it's one of those societal questions that you're just going to have to navigate and you're going to have to deal with. I think people are just so excited. Like just the other day, like we had a family member who was just like, she blurted out like, oh my God, this is happening. I'm like, wait.
No. We don't even have to say a family. It was my mother. My mother the other day on her birthday.
I was trying to be PG and not put her on blast, but since
my mother on her birthday was like, Danielle's pregnant. And then we're like, wait, what? No. What about Danielle drinking wine? Like,
I'm drinking wine right now.
I'm not pregnant.
So I think it's just like, I think everyone is just super excited. Everyone wants it. They just want the best for you, right? And I think starting a family is like a outpouring of love, right? It's like, it's extending your family through love. So I think it's natural for them to want that from you. But again, you're now with your partner and you have to decide when is the right time. You know, and it's also sometimes it's not even if you might be ready, but your body might not be ready right now either. Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of a journey. It's like a journey. And you have to just, you know, appreciate it, understand it, and have patience and not get super stressed out by society pressures.
Yeah. You would think that everybody thinks that we're just going to pop a baby and surprise them or something like that. It's like right now, I think it's safe to say we're at the point where, like, you know, if it happens, it happens. And like, you know, that's just kind of where we're at right now. We're trying to enjoy ourselves still some more.
Right. Yeah. I think that's super important to enjoy yourselves, because when kids come, you all know it's about them kids. It ain't gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Right now you can have sex freely. When the kids come, you're like, oh, we gotta schedule a time to do something.
Yeah.
I say enjoy the time while you can. Enjoy each other. Learn, because you guys don't know each other. There's always things to learn. So I feel like this is a great time just to relax and have fun and do your thing. Okay, so my last question is, do you guys have any plans to travel anywhere soon? Or honeymoon, or no honeymoon, or I don't know. Where do you guys plan to travel next?
So we had a mini honeymoon in Vermont.
Mini moons.
Mini moons. Yeah, we had mini moons.
Mini moon.
We went to Vermont. We went to
New York.
Upstate New York. Well, that was for your birthday. No?
It was still part. I'm still. So pretty much a mini moon is like a mini honeymoon. Like, and we're just gonna keep on going all these mini ones until we get to the big one.
So right. It's like a prelude to the
main course. The main course.
So it's like the little appetizers. I don't know. We've discussed what's gonna, like, when things open up. If we're gonna go like back to where we started, like, are we gonna go to Madrid? Like, we're gonna go right back on it. But what's actually interesting is during quarantine is that we watched TV shows.
Oh gosh.
And any TV show like set anywhere like
Foreign, abroad.
foreign, she catches it really quick and is like, oh, where is that? And then she Googles it, and then next thing you know, now she wants to go to that place. So it's like
South Korea on the list.
Yeah. So it's like I feel like when things open up, I feel like it's gonna be like a instinct that like we're immediately gonna know where we're gonna want to go as soon as things open up. But there's like so many places on the list for me personally because I don't travel that much. I'm
or
like
hadn't
obsessed.
traveled that much.
Yes, I haven't traveled that much.
Yes.
But for me, like my personal thing is like as long as we get into it, like I want to do like a European tour. Like I want to go all over Europe. Like I'm a history buff. I enjoy the history of Europe, and I just want to be. I want to be all over Europe. Like that's where I want. That's what I want to do. But I'm open. I'm open for any. I mean, I'm open for anything now. So.
And we didn't talk about this, but really briefly, he's open to everything now after our trip to China. So that really opens. I think like he fought me on that trip to China for months, a whole year, because we have booked it like in 2018 for 2019 travel. But by day 3, when we were on the Great Wall of China and he was climbing up and he was looking out at the the field, he was like, yo, this is the best trip ever. I was like, yeah. So I think
so that's
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I think it's just like, I think when things are safe and of course there's a couple of things, like you have to feel comfortable traveling internationally, and also they have to also allow you to come in as a US citizen too. So there's a lot of things that we have to just kind of wait and see. But I think for us, we've been continuously saving in our travel fund. So we know that once the time comes that we will have the funds to go off and do the amazing trips that we always wanted to go on.
Right. So you mentioned something as a travel fund. I highly recommend people getting a travel fund, just like you're putting away money for everything else. So that way, when you guys get a chance to go on that European tour, everything is covered. You don't have to stress, because I think sometimes we stress, oh, do we have enough money? Do we have this? Do we have that? But you guys already have it covered. And then also, I don't know if Danielle told you about this Netflix show. It was about a couple that was getting married. Oh my God, I will find the name.
Yes.
Did you guys ever watch it? If you guys haven't watched that, you guys have to watch that, because you will have 10 more destinations that you want to go to. So definitely watch it. I'll get the name for it if I can't remember what it is. And then finally, let us know what is going on with the thought card. Let us know final thing where people can reach you at, what's going on with that, and
Yeah, so the thought card. So my website is called, the URL is thoughtcard.com. Again, it's an affordable travel and personal finance website. Right now, we're really focusing more on the money side because travel is kind of down, but that's fine because we could still financially plan. I'm really mostly focusing a lot of my energy on writing books. So by this right now, I have 5 books out total, either live or in pre-sale. So with the various topics, like we have affording travel, we have traveling with a full-time job. I'm working on publishing traveling during the pandemic, like planning local trips during a pandemic is the title of that book. So I think books is just a great way. Again, you read it in 2 hours, get what you need, and you kind of go off on your merry way. So I'm really excited about the books I'm working on. The podcast, also the Thought Card podcast. We are like over 70 episodes in right now, doing great stuff. So I'm just excited to keep on creating content. Keep on sharing our stories, not only my story now, but also our stories as a family, since that's that's changed, and we'll see how things continue to go.
You didn't mention the Women of Color podcast, but Danielle.
Yes. So WC Podcasters is a Facebook group, an online community. We have a blog, we have a job board, a membership site. So if anyone has an interest in learning how to podcast, highly recommend heading over to that Facebook group. If you just want to read more about podcasting and learn tips and tricks, WCPodcasters.co is a great resource. We have close to 4,000 members now. So it's a very active group. And if you're interested in like the membership is more focused on learning. So we have classes. Actually, Tiffany did a class on Facebook Live. So that was really great, helpful. So yeah, I mean, there's just so many things on the horizon for 2021 and beyond.
That is super cool. So this was super, super exciting. I'm glad I finally got you all on. This was great because normally me and Danielle, we just talk about travel. So this was nice perspective to talk about relationships. I love doing my Love Abroad series or my Quarantine in Love edition. And so I did a lot of the stuff on the blog, but I love doing the videos because then I get to see the guys because I'm always interviewing the women. And so I like to see their perspective and I love to see the interaction between the couples. So I'm pretty sure that people will watch this and we'll get some comments and we'll get some other things going on. Again, this wasn't scheduled, so maybe we didn't see as many comments, but I'm pretty sure the people will love the YouTube channel. And again, this was fun. It's always fun to talk about relationships. And of course, we started at Bumble and now we are ending at a wedding. So this is super cool. We got How to Be Loving Travel. And I'm just so happy for you all and wishing you all the best, a happy marriage, happy love life, the kids, the travel, the businesses, and all so forth. So again, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And everyone, have a good night.
Thank you, Tiffany.
You.
Bye.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Nice meeting you as well.
Bye. Bye-bye.